What's happening, my friends? Mr. Nomad Ben here. So, I know a lot of people are getting ready for me to do my Nashville Hot Chicken Challenge this coming weekend. So, I kind of decided to take a break from doing an actual vlog and get that stuff kind of ready for you because I'm going to have an eventful weekend. Hopefully, the weather's going to be good because they're calling for some crazy weather. But I still want to do something for you guys, and I got some things on my mind. So it's one of those things I like to call, oh, my vlog. But it's gonna be a little more of a fun walk and talk, mind walk on my vlog. But we're gonna start here at Civitan Park. If you guys want to know more about this place, I actually went here my first season, so I'll leave a link in the description below, and you want to check out more in depth about this park. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do a little walk and talk and just kind of share what's on my mind. I actually had a little brunch, ate it. I still got some coffee left over, so little McDonald's coffee here. So, and here we go. Let's go for a walk and talk. So, as you guys can see, I grew a beard. And how often does that happen to me? Well, I grow beards every once in a while. Sometimes I just don't feel like shaving. And there's some days I just look really scruffy, and then eventually I shave like once a week. But it's been about 2 weeks since I've shaved, so I just kind of decided to let it grow out. Hey, do you guys want to see me more scruffy versus more clean shaven, or less the 5 o'clock shadow? Look, leave it in the comments below if you guys rather see more of a bearded kind of Mr. Nomad. So, I don't know, I've been thinking about kind of changing my look a little bit. Yeah, I know my first season when I went to Pigeon Forge, I actually grew a pretty thick beard. Then I ended up shaving it. Lindsay's my wife, and she's not really the biggest fan of facial hair, but if you guys want me to start growing beards more often, I might as well do something like that. So, yeah. So, if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. Or just a returning viewer, you just keep coming to my show, just never had time to subscribe. Or just didn't want to, just want to have me entertain you, that's fine too. But if you are now getting on my channel in the first couple of minutes, like, why is this guy just walking and talking and all this stuff? But I thought he was an adventure channel. I am an adventure channel. I'm a food and travel adventure. And just a document life. Mostly around my town of Dalton, Georgia. Parts of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and parts of the tri-state area towns. Like Fort Payne, Alabama. And then I'll make my way over to Nashville this weekend. But there are times where I just want to just talk and walk with you guys. So, here's what's on my mind about this particular walk and talk. Sorry about the loud noises, because there's a busy street right behind me, so sometimes these loud cars will emit loud noises that come out of their cars. So, yeah, sometimes I just want to take time to do a walk and talk with you guys, because sometimes I think it's good just to let the mind expand, and we could all kind of learn from each other, and like what we can learn about bettering ourselves and how to keep our mind sharp. So, those who are constant viewers of my show, or friends or family that watch this show, and you guys know me for quite some time, either we have a YouTube relationship or a personal relationship. But if you guys know me well enough, I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars franchise, and I always will love Star Wars. Nothing will ever change that about me. But however, I had a mistress kind of love for a different franchise for a very long time. And just lately with the Star Wars franchise, it's been very confusing and kind of been heartbreaking. Other than the Mandalorian series and the Star Wars Rebels series and Clone Wars Season 7, But other than that, like, the sequel trilogy was kind of a heartbreaking experience. But I do enjoy The Force Awakens. That's probably one of my favorite out of the new trilogy, honestly. But anyway, why am I talking about Star Wars is because I'm going to talk about Star Wars for a second, but I'm going to talk about something like I talked about my mistress kind of love when it comes to a different franchise. That franchise is the Lord of the Rings franchise, and I've always have loved Lord of the Rings. I don't talk about it very much, and I feel like I should probably talk about the Lord of the Rings in this particular walk and talk, because there's something about the Lord of the Rings story that I feel like that's something Star Wars could never amount to. And how I kind of observed the two stories, I know Star Wars is always updating. And I know that Amazon is working on all Lord of the Rings series based on the Second Age. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't have high expectations for it, but I'm pretty excited for it. But man, I went through watching the Lord of the Rings when I was just kind of taking it easy with my illness, trying to get better, and so just re-observing and re-watching these movies. I'm just so blown away with the story on it and the character development. I know these are just the movies. I've read parts of the books. I would just say I have just skimmed majority of the books because J.R.R. Tolkien is just so wordy and lengthy. Let's switch hands here for a second. You'll get a more view. Here's the stream back over here. So, yeah, let's look at that out. Well, anyway, J.R.R. Tolkien is very lengthy and very detailed in how he portrays his stories. And I guess if you were watching the Return of the King movie, shots of Minas Tirith when Gandalf and Pippin were riding Shadowfax the horse into the city, literally like one shot from a camera angle is like 5 or 6 pages long on how Tolkien would write. So like I said, his books were kind of tough to read, so I just try to skim through all the fun and exciting parts of the books, or just basically the important plot lines. Well, now that I'm a little older, because I was a kid when I tried reading the books and I got into the movies, and now that I'm a lot older, I might want to go back and read the books. More into the park. I'm going to switch hands again. Sorry about that, folks. But there's a quote that I wanted to kind of share with you guys because it's always impacted my life in a way, and I'm hoping maybe it might impact yours. If you kind of hear what I have to say, what's on my mind when it comes to this. So, those who are not familiar with Lord of the Rings, I'm very sorry. This is going to be one of those incredibly dorky mind walks. So, you're probably 9 minutes in, you're saying, get to the point, Mr. Nomad Ben. Or what's this? I don't know what Lord of the Rings is, or who cares about Lord of the Rings. I get it. So I'm sorry I wasted 9 minutes of your time. Or just kind of stick around and have a good time and talk to me, or really listen to me, because this isn't a live stream. So anyway, there's a quote Gandalf said to Frodo, and it was the scene where Frodo and Gandalf are kind of having a moment, and they heard noises deep in the caves of Moria. Of course, it was Gollum. So they're kind of talking about Gollum, how crazy and creepy the guy is. And then they ended up circling back from Gollum to the topic of the ring. And Frodo says to Gandalf, I wish the ring has never come to me. I wish as none of this has happened. Gandalf looks at Frodo and he says, so do all who wish for such times that that could never happen to them. But all you gotta decide to do with the time that is given to you. All you got to do to decide to do with the time that is given to you. That was the reprised version part of the movie, but it's also time given to us. That was a different part of the quote as well. So all we got to do to decide to do with the time that is given to us. I'm going to switch hands here for a second. So we are living in some pretty crazy times, and some people think it's a fluke of where time has happened to them, or things just creation, or things just kind of came out of nowhere. Some people believe in God, some people don't. But regardless of whatever deity you believe in, I believe personally that we are put on earth for whatever reason, for whatever time it is for. And even though we can't wrap our heads around for the times that it's going on right now, because nobody right now has asked for these kind of times. Nobody asked for this pandemic to happen, and nobody asked for their personal daily lives to be affected. Nobody asked for their jobs to be affected. But what do we just kind of backtrack to the other events in life? Nobody asked for World War II to happen. Nobody asked for the Civil War to happen. But nobody wants to live to see such crazy times, but it just happens. But all we got to decide to do with the time that is given to you, or given to us. That's what kind of stuck with me, because as much as we don't want crazy things to happen to us and to our families and to our loved ones, we just can't stop the nature of evil or nature of crazy events. It doesn't have to be with things that are happening in our governments or the actions of people around the world. It can also be natural disasters. Nobody asked for tsunamis to happen or volcanic eruptions to happen. It's just part of the same giant of disruptions of time. We do a lot of switches. So but during the times that you have, what are you doing with your time that's given to you today? And I'm not talking just to my friends on YouTube or family and friends. I'm talking to you, the viewer. Those are just not really into the whole vlogging thing, but you guys enjoy a vlog to watch, or you guys have different interests. What are you doing with your life today, with your time? And is it gonna glorify it for yourself, or glorify it to the big man upstairs, or what is it the time that you're doing? And sometimes that quote affects my life, because sometimes I feel like I could be doing more with my time. And that's when I started doing these vlogs, because I want to do more than work and then get home, drink beer and watch TV and start the cycle all over again 7 days a week, and occasionally go to church. So I wanted my life to be a little more than that. And of course, reactivating my love for vlogging and video camera work and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's what I decided to do with my time. And with doing that, I've had people family, friends, YouTubers, or I wouldn't say just YouTubers, like people who enjoy YouTube, say, hey, keep up the good work, your vlogs are great, or I really like what you say, Ben, I really enjoy the things that you do. And then sometimes I'll have my moments of doubts and reaching out to some great support, my Gotta Go Orlando friends. And when it comes to encourage each other, as in the vlogging community, when I have a doubt with my vlogs, my friend Shane would say, always have confidence in your art, or have confidence in your vlogs, man. So even when I post, sometimes I'm thinking, maybe this is kind of a dumb vlog. Nobody is gonna watch this. And sometimes I'd be surprised how many views I get with the vlogs I do, and the responses I get, either if I see on the comment page or people personally message me. And I know I'm doing something right with my time, and I'm using my time to make an impact on people's lives, and it makes me feel good. And that's just kind of what I would like to encourage everyone. What are you deciding to do with your time today? With the time that's given to you right now, during the craziness of what's happening here right now, not just in America, but all over the world. What are you doing with your time to better yourself, or better your neighbor, your family members? What are you deciding to do with your time? And that's what I kind of got out of it. And I just feel like that things about the Lord of the Rings, there's aspects of the story of the Lord of the Rings. It's not just about that quote. I can just take things from Lord of the Rings, and I can learn things about life through that story. How to conquer my personal demons, and how to encourage myself and build myself up. And there's a lot we can learn from Lord of the Rings when it comes to that kind of stuff. And a story like this, I feel like that's something Star Wars just cannot touch. And when I just rewatched these movies, man, I'll just tell you, I just had this just happiness again, just watching the Lord of the Rings again. And it's just awesome. And those who have not watched the Lord of the Rings series, I highly encourage you to watch it. If you guys love fantasy, you like I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones, but if you like Game of Thrones, or just that kind of feel, but it's a lot more cleaner than Game of Thrones. People keep their clothes on. There's no cussing. Maybe Sam said one word. I could be wrong. But really, there's no language in Lord of the Rings. Everyone keeps their clothes on. The story is amazing. And it's an impactful story. So I highly encourage everybody to watch the Lord of the Rings movies. So yeah, you learn a thing or two in the movies. You can learn something about yourself. You can learn how to deal with the things of the evil that surrounds us every day. And this is all my personal opinion. I'm not saying that this is all fact, but this is what is on my mind today, of how amazing a certain franchise can be and how it could affect somebody's life. And I just was so happy that I reactivated my love for the Lord of the Rings. And I feel like it's definitely a story that Star Wars can never touch. And we're going to talk more about Lord of the Rings for a second. There's a character by the name of Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil was not in the movies, but he's in the books. And the thing about Tom Bombadil is that he's kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of character. He was actually one of the first people that walked Middle Earth. And the ring has no effect on him. But Tom Bombadil is kind of like a fun, happy-go-lucky hippie of Middle Earth. But he's very wise. He kind of keeps his mind sharp. But he kind of decides to be a little goofy. And kind of reminds me of someone I know. Anyway, so... but the thing is, like, even though there was evil that surrounds Middle Earth, Tom Bombadil doesn't let the evil consume him or get the best of him. And of course, Tom Bombadil is not considered a human because he's more of an angelic, one of the first angelic beings to walk Middle Earth. But when he wore the Ring of Power, the evil of Sauron could not possess him, period. It did absolutely nothing. So, I know that things get the best of us, but there's always the gift of joy that was given to us. And joy is something that cannot be taken away from us. Happiness is something that we created, but even with all the craziness and turmoil, but joy could come with it, where you could still find moments of peace, and happiness, and carefreeness, even when craziness is going on. And that's kind of what I got out of the character Tom Bombadil. We're doing a little gardening work out there, so yeah, guys, that's what was on my mind today. Sometimes I feel like I just need to share a few things that's in my mind in the old noggin, because some days I just want to do this. It's how how you guys could get to know me when you guys go on these fun little journeys with me, when we go to historical sites, breweries, restaurants, nature quests. Eventually we'll get to some theme parks, hopefully, or a theme park. Just places that you guys get to do with me, or fun things that we do. Just the varieties that I do. I want you guys to kind of get to know me on a certain level. I'm not telling you every single thing that happens in my life, because some things remain private. But what you do see is what you do get. Because there are times I'm very goofy. There's times I just want to have good conversation. And I just want to kind of end it there today, doing this little walk and talk.
Ben?
Hey, we got Tom. I go to church with this guy. I haven't seen this guy in ages.
I haven't seen you in ages.
I know.
So that makes us even.
Yeah, right? Well, hey, friends, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to catch up with Tom. I haven't seen this man in ages. But, yeah, just want to kind of end it here. Sometimes I just want to do a little walk and talk, and I want to do a little walk and talk with Tom here. But I'm not going to film that.
Oh.
So I haven't seen that guy in a while.
Okay,
If you guys enjoy this particular video, give it a thumbs up. Shows that you cared and you enjoyed yourself. I'll leave a link in the description below when I was at Civitan Park a few months back. Other than that, my friends, eat well, keep your mind walking. I'll see you guys in the next video.